Major and minor triads on adjacent strings all have a major third or a minor third in them. We can replace each of the notes to add color, and in a band setting we can even leave out the root of the original chord because the bass player will take care of that. That's why we pay him. Which leaves us playing a chord shape we might not recognize immediately. The compound sound of all the instruments together will shape the chord that is produced. Now, one other shape that we've not discussed yet is the three-note power chord played on adjacent strings. As with the major and minor triads, we can use the power chord shape as a jump board to create triads. The next example, called Power It Up, uses this trick. The power chords used in Power It Up all include the root 2 times and 1/5 on top of the root. Now if we take an E power chord and lay the index finger flat behind the other 2 fretted notes, we can lift each of these notes to add color to these chords. E5, lift your ring finger to get an E sus4. Back to the E5, lift your pinky to get an E7. You could also move one of those fretted notes 1 fret back and end up with these sounds. This would be an E diminished sound, and this is an E major 7th sound. Or how about making a melodic line like this? Or a more spooky variation. The PDF of this lesson will give you some additional positions to play around with. By removing or repositioning one finger, you can add color to the power chord, and by doing this it will technically not be a power chord anymore, but a stack of notes on top of some root. Songs that are written in a rock vein often use this power chord triad approach for a solid guitar part or a riff. Banging away a power chord can get kind of boring. By removing a finger or moving your fingers around, you can add some great flavors. Listen to the guitar intro of Money for Nothing by the Dire Straits for some great playing around with these positions. Having a solid grip on these triad shapes will give you a clear insight in how chords are built and where to find them on the fretboard. They'll serve as a great foundation to expand your options when you're playing chords. The triad, per definition, is the heart of the chord. Notes you want to add can easily be found by focusing on the nearest chord tone and locating the added note relative to it. We've seen that by doing this, some triads will start to look and sound alike. A D minor 7 without the root becomes an F major 7 triad, for instance. In complicated chord progressions with quick changes, this can actually help you limit the movement you have to make with your left hand. Instead of racing up and down the fretboard, we can find triad shapes that are close together and in this way create a smooth harmonic motion, much like how a piano player would play. Sometimes this will confront you with a bit of a puzzle. How do I create this triad, or which of these notes should I regard as the root? But the reward will be generous.